What's going on, guys? So in this video, I'm actually quite excited to talk to you about this one. Over the last week to week and a half, I've been spending quite a bit of time with this fragrance. I am head over heels in love with it. Spoiler alert, this is going to be a pretty high rating for this fragrance because I think it's that damn good. This is one of the better niche fragrances I've gotten my hands on this year. Shout outs to my buddy Steve over at Kingdom Fragrances for sending this my way, so I've been able to spend time with it and really fall in love with Soma Parfums Halcyon. We're going to discuss. So stay tuned. Real quickly, we'll take a look at the presentation. So as you can see, Soma Parfums, Eau de Parfum concentration, 75 ml. It is a magnetic flip side with a cutout, foam cutout for the bottle. And then the bottle is a bit taller, on the taller side for a 75 ml with a raised metal plaque, name of the fragrance. Very thick base glass, sturdy, has the Soma logo on the top. Does not click into place, but holds pretty snugly, and then the atomizer is fantastic. Pressure sensitive, nice, smooth, consistent mist. Beautiful. Now, in regards to this scent, the first thing you'll think of is if you've smelled Killian's Angel Share, this is going to remind you of it. There's no two ways about it. But there's a good enough amount of differences and added depth and complexity to this fragrance that I believe it's superior to Angel Share. Retail on this one's right around $175, I believe, before my 15% off code, which I'll have linked down below. You can also just get a sample and try it. And I'm going to encourage you to get a sample and try this one. Reason being, like I said, you get added earthy tobacco with this one. It's a little bit more powdery and a little less boozy and a little more spicy than Angel Share. So you still get the rum in the top. There's this toffee note with a hefty dose of cinnamon. Beautiful, natural smelling, warm, spiced cinnamon, smoothed off, counterbalanced with this sweet toffee tone, and a nice level-headed. The reason I say level-headed, because it's not a bomb, a heavy dose of rum, and it's not so faint that you can't smell it. There's a nice smooth undertone of warm, boozy rum that doesn't add any sweetness, whereas a cognac note would have made it an almost sickeningly sweet top note with the toffee. So I think rum was a great option here based on the way this top was blended. Again, cognac, very sweet, boozy note. Mix that with toffee, which is a very sweet note. You'd have had to put a lot of cinnamon to try to counterbalance the just thick sweetness, because as you move into the heart, there's some honey, speaking of thick sweetness. So there's a lot of sweet notes here, tonka bean and such. But the orchid note here provides almost this thick, creamy, vanillic tone to it, because orchid can kind of come across that way sometimes. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of sweet tones to this fragrance, but it's not overly sweet. I wouldn't call this a sickeningly sweet fragrance. I actually have it on my hand. And it's more spicy early on in its life than overall sweet because there's such a nice dose. The labdanum offers a little bit of this leathery feel. And like I said, there's some earthy tobacco that has a little bit of a smoky tone. It's not so dry of an earthiness, but it's also not super moist. What's the type of, like a pipe tobacco in some ways, more so than cigar tobacco, I think would be the best way for me to describe the way the earthy tone of the tobacco comes across to me. Very, very well balanced. Because like I said, when you see this note breakdown, you're going to think, oh my God, this is crazy sweet. And in some ways, and on certain skin chemistries, I'm sure it's more sweet than spicy. But for me, it's sweet, spicy, smoky, leathery, a little earthy, with a lot of sweetness. Like it all kind of just flows. The way the scent profile and the character to this one is. It just all flows together so smoothly. Like I said, I've fallen head over heels in love with this one because of this fragrance. And look, yeah, I've got the cheaper alternative with Lattafa's Camera, and I absolutely love that. It's not one-to-one with Angel Share, just as this one is not. That's a cheaper alternative I've been enjoying, but this blows both of them out the water for me. Because of this, I'll never buy Angel Share. And I wanted Angel Share. I used to have a decan of it. I had 2 ml that I went through about a year and a half ago, maybe even 2 years ago. It's been a while. But I find this to be superior, a superior niche fragrance that took kind of a similar tone and evolved it into something more with that's a deeper scent profile with more complexity, and it costs a little bit less than Angel Share. I love the way this one smells. I don't know if you could see the excitement the way I'm speaking of this one, but this is worth trying. This is absolutely worth getting a sample. You can get a sample from Kingdom Fragrances for just a few bucks, and then they have discovery sets that you can piece together and include this in the discovery set. So I would encourage you, if you're looking for a gorgeous, warm and spicy, sweet and earthy Boozy experience, you need to get your nose on this one. Now, as far as performance, sillage is magnificent. Performance is great across the board. It's a 10 to 12 hour fragrance on my skin. It's definitely on that higher side in that beast mode territory of longevity. And it's not really a room filler, but it is a statement maker. It's very present the first hour and a half to 2 hours, even going into the 3 hour mark. Because the sillage is on the heavier side, you don't get a drastic difference from when the projection starts to calm down and the scent bubble comes in a bit closer. It doesn't get too close. It's dense enough, even though it's not a parfum. It's not a pure parfum or an extrait. It's an eau de parfum. It still kind of has that type of sillage. It's still bright and airy enough to where it really enhances the amount of sillage that you have coming off your skin. Could just be the way it reacts to my skin. I don't know. I haven't spoken to others with their experience on this one. But again, 10 to 12 hours longevity. Projection is on the moderate to heavy side in the first 2 hours, and then the sillage is on the moderate to heavy side as well. This stuff is pretty strong, but never seems to be overwhelming or cloying in any sense of the word. The last wearing I had, I got in the car with Justin and George, and Justin commented on my fragrance right away. It filled the car immediately. And it had been on me for about an hour, so it had a little bit of time to settle in. It wasn't fresh sprays, but I mean, this is magnificent. Performance across the board is everything you could hope for, unless you just want to be that obnoxious room filler. I mean, just spray heavier. You probably can. But at the moderate range of 4 to 5 sprays, very, very strong on my skin. Final thoughts on Halcyon from Soma Parfums. This is my first introduction into the house. I am so impressed with this fragrance that I can't wait to explore more from the house. I'm almost blown away in a sense, because it's just so damn good. It's so good for the cold weather I've been experiencing, whether here in Colorado Springs or the back and forth I've been doing with Chicago. The weather has been nice and crispy cold, and this fragrance has been doing great cutting through it, being warm and cozy, super high quality and luxurious. It's everything you could hope it would be. So for that, I think this is outstanding. This is a 9 out of 10 fragrance. Soma Parfums Halcyon, like I said, one of the best pickups of the year, one of the best fragrances to come into my collection. I am so happy to have this one, and I urge you guys, please get a sample and try this one. Like I said, this is like the Angel Share killer for me. Not cheap like Camera, not as expensive as Angel Share, still in that niche price bracket, but the more affordable side of niche overall, and this smells like a fragrance that could be sold for double the price that it's sold for. Just my thoughts. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on Soma Parfums Halcyon. Once again, thank you so much, Steve from Kingdom Fragrances, for sending this my way. I am head over heels in love with this. He told me he can't seem to keep it in stock. I've seen a ton of Scent of the Day posts and written reviews and stuff like that on Instagram. So it seems to be, it's one of those under the radar building hype type of beast. It's a if you know type of fragrance. And I'm happy to spread the word about this one a little bit more, because I am so impressed by this fragrance. I am definitely going to experience more from this house. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have tried this, and what do you think about it? Do you get as excited as I am about talking about this one? Do you like it as much as I do? Is it underwhelming for you? I mean, there's going to be people across the entire spectrum that either don't like it, it's okay, they pretty much enjoy it most of the time, or they really love it, which I fall into the latter. I really love this one. I think this is a great fragrance. It's going to stay in the rotation, on the rotation table through the rest of the cold months, because I think this is awesome for the cooler weather. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Soma Parfum Halcyon and you give it a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later, because I think it's fantastic. Have a good one, guys.